a story based on the 4 verses. The morning sun rose gently over the hills as Jesus and his disciples gathered beside a quiet field. The air was cool, and the wind carried the soft rustle of leaves. God's creation seemed to pause, ready to listen. 1. The Heart's Prayer, Matthew 6-7. Nearby, a young woman stood silently. She had watched Jesus from a distance for days, longing to speak to God, but afraid she didn't know how to pray. One of the disciples noticed her hesitation and brought her to Jesus. "Lord," she whispered, "I don't know how to pray like others. They use many words. I fall short." Jesus smiled gently. "My child," he said, "your Father listens to the heart, not the length of your prayers. Do not repeat words to impress others. Speak simply. Speak truthfully. Your Father already knows your needs." Peace filled her heart like a calming river. 2. Sent 2 by 2. Mark 6-7. As the morning grew brighter, Jesus called his 12 disciples. "It is time," he said. "Go 2 by 2. Carry no burden except faith. I give you authority over the darkness that troubles people." The disciples looked at one another, each pair strengthened by the presence of the other. They were ordinary men, yet they felt something extraordinary rise within them. What Jesus gave them was not just authority, but courage. 3. Watched by accusers. Luke 6-7. Later that day, Jesus entered a village where many sick had gathered. But among the crowd stood Pharisees and teachers of the law, watching him with sharp eyes. "Let us see if he will heal on the Sabbath," one murmured. "We will catch him breaking the law." Jesus saw them, but his gaze softened toward a man with a withered hand, trembling at the edge of the crowd. He knew the leaders cared more for rules than mercy. Yet still, he called the man forward. Love, not fear, guided his steps. 4. The impossible need. John 6-7. As evening approached, a large crowd surrounded Jesus, thousands of hungry people. Jesus turned to Philip. "Where shall we buy bread for all these?" he asked. Philip looked at the sea of faces and sighed. "Even 200 denarii wouldn't give each a small piece, Lord." The task looked impossible, but in the hands of Jesus, impossibility was simply the doorway to a miracle. A small boy stepped forward with 5 loaves and 2 fish, just a little, yet given with all his heart. Jesus smiled, blessed the food, and gave it to the disciples. As they handed it out, it multiplied basket after basket until everyone had eaten and none was left hungry. Reflection of the story. In these moments, 4 lessons shine. God hears sincere prayers, not empty words. We are never sent alone. God equips those he calls. Love is greater than rigid rules. Compassion always heals. What seems too little becomes more than enough in Jesus' hands. And so the day ended with joy, awe, and hearts filled with faith, each person learning that with Jesus, even ordinary moments become holy.